Welcome to the deep dive. For our very first deep dive, we're going to be tackling a question that I think has fascinated humans probably since the dawn of time.
Yeah.
Are we alone in the universe?
It's such a big question.
It is a huge question. And, we asked you guys to send in some stuff that you've been reading or watching or thinking about. And we got this really thought-provoking article from LearnXYZ
Yeah, it's
that kind of tackles this question.
it really digs into pulling in all sorts of different sources,
Yeah.
expert opinions,
It's really cool.
recent discoveries.
Yeah, so-
It's got a lot to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack, but I think it's a good one to start with.
Oh yeah, Dad.
Have you ever just looked up at the night sky and
Oh yeah, all the time.
wondered is anybody else out there?
I
Is someone
do.
looking back at us?
One of my favorite things to do.
I know, me too.
Oh,
So, okay, let's get into this article. So it starts off and it basically says, as of right now, February 2025,
okay.
we still haven't found definitive proof that there's alien life out there.
The smoking gun.
Yeah, right, exactly. But
okay.
it goes on to say that new scientific discoveries are making the possibility seem more and more likely.
More and more likely, yeah. And I think they highlight that by bringing up this 2024 survey,
Oh, yeah.
where they found that 88.4%
Wow.
of astrobiologists said they believe that basic extraterrestrial life probably exists.
That's a really high percentage.
It is. Yeah, it's really interesting.
Okay, so hold on, rewind for a second.
Sure.
What is an astrobiologist?
That's a great question.
For those of us who aren't, up on all the space jargon.
Yeah, astrobiology is a really fascinating field.
Okay.
It's not just about, little green men and spaceships,
Well,
although that's fun to think about.
What?
It's a real scientific field that studies the origins,
Yeah.
the evolution, and the possibility of life in the universe.
So, what are the conditions
Yeah.
that are needed
Exactly.
for life to exist?
And then looking for those conditions out there in the universe.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's like a cosmic detective story.
It is a cosmic detective story.
We're looking for clues, but on a massive scale.
Exactly.
That's awesome. Okay, so speaking of mysteries,
Okay.
the article brings up this thing called the Fermi paradox.
Ah, yeah.
What's that all about?
This is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
The Fermi paradox basically points out this contradiction.
Okay.
If the universe is so vast and the chances of life arising somewhere else are so high,
Right.
why haven't we found any evidence of it yet?
Where is everybody?
Exactly, where's everybody?
That is a good question.
Yeah.
So is that where the Drake equation comes in?
The Drake equation is one way to think about this.
Okay.
It's this equation that tries to estimate the number of civilizations out there that we could potentially communicate with,
Wow.
but it relies on a lot of variables that we still don't know for sure.
Like what?
Like the fraction of stars that have planets.
Okay.
How many of those planets could support life?
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah. How many of those planets have reached a level of technology
Exactly.
where they're broadcasting radio waves or
all sorts of
building giant structures?
Yeah, it's more of a thought experiment than a precise calculation.
I see. So it's giving us a framework, but a lot of pieces are still missing.
Right.
It's like trying to bake a cake.
Yeah.
You don't know half the ingredients.
Exactly.
Okay. So speaking of things that we don't fully understand, the article touches on the topic of unidentified aerial phenomena,
UAPs.
or UAPs, yeah, more commonly known as UFOs.
Right.
It even mentions a Pentagon report
Yeah.
detailing all these strange sightings that they don't have clear explanations for.
Yeah. And some people see this as evidence of extraterrestrial visitors.
Oh, totally.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's important to be, to apply a healthy dose of scientific skepticism here.
Right.
Just because something is unexplained,
Does it mean it's aliens?
it doesn't automatically mean it's aliens.
Right.
We have to look at the evidence carefully. Consider all the possible explanations before jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of the unknown,
Oh, yeah.
but we got to stay grounded, you know,
Absolutely.
in what we can actually verify.
We have to have that foundation.
But it's interesting that it's
Yeah.
being taken seriously
Oh,
by, government agencies.
for sure.
Okay, so the article goes on to include some contrasting viewpoints from prominent figures like Elon Musk
Okay.
and Michio Kaku.
Always interesting to hear what they have to say.
I know, right? So what does Elon Musk have to say about all this?
Well, Musk, he's the CEO of SpaceX. He expresses skepticism about the evidence we have so far.
Which is kind of interesting because you would think,
You'd think.
He would be all about it.
He would be all in.
He's got all those satellites up there.
He's got access to a lot of data.
Yeah.
He even suggests that some UFO sightings
Could be.
could be classified government projects.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's not convinced, but he is, leading the charge in space exploration.
Right.
So what about Michio Kaku? What does he have to say?
Well, Kaku is a theoretical physicist, and he strikes a much more optimistic tone.
Okay.
He believes that with advancements in technology like the James Webb Space Telescope, we have a real chance of making contact
Wow.
with an alien civilization within this century.
That soon?
Yeah, he thinks it could happen in our lifetime.
Wow. That's amazing.
It is exciting, but he also urges caution.
Okay.
He reminds us that we don't know anything about the intentions of such a civilization.
Right. Like, are they going to be friendly?
Exactly. Are they going to be hostile?
Are they going to want to, take over our planet?
Right. Are they going to want our resources?
Steal all our water?
It could be risky to try to make contact.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. It's like a double-edged sword.
It is.
It's like on one hand, you have the excitement of potentially finding another intelligent species out there.
Right.
But on the other hand, there's like the uncertainty of what that encounter might bring.
We don't know what we're dealing with.
So we have one expert who's all about actively searching for life out there. And then we have another who's proceed with caution.
Yeah. A really interesting contrast.
It's really interesting. It definitely raises some thought-provoking questions.
For sure.
And I think it kind of leads us to another aspect of this whole discussion.
Okay.
Which is, what about life forms that might be a little closer to home?
Closer to home.
Not necessarily little green men.
Right.
But what about microbial life?
Okay.
On other planets or moons in our own solar system?
So looking within our own neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
So the article specifically mentions Mars as a potential location for this kind of life.
Yeah, Mars is really interesting because there's evidence of past liquid water.
Oh, wow.
And we know that water is essential for life as we know it.
Right.
So it's possible that Mars might have supported microbial life at some point in its history.
So it's like we're conducting a forensic investigation.
We are.
But on a planetary scale.
On a massive scale.
That is so cool.
It is really cool.
And what's particularly exciting is that we actually have rovers on Mars right now.
We do.
Collecting data and sending it back to us.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's incredible. And it's not just Mars.
No.
The article also mentions Europa. Which is one of Jupiter's moons.
Well, the Galilean moons.
Yeah. And why is that one interesting?
Europa is fascinating because it's believed to have this huge ocean of liquid water.
Wow.
Beneath its icy surface.
So there could be a whole ocean on another world.
Exactly.
That we haven't even discovered yet.
That we don't even know anything about.
That is mind-blowing.
It is mind-blowing.
It's a reminder that life is incredibly resilient.
Yeah.
It could exist in places that we might not even imagine.
In ways that we can't even fathom yet.
Yeah. So we've got Mars, Europa, and who knows what else might be out there.
Right.
Lurking in the shadows of our solar system.
It really makes you wonder.
It does. It really makes you wonder.
What else is out there?
It's almost overwhelming.
It is.
To consider all the possibilities.
But it's also incredibly exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
And that's what makes this topic so captivating, right?
Absolutely.
It forces us to think differently.
It does.
About our place in the universe.
It challenges our perspective.
It does. Okay, so before we get too philosophical, maybe we should take a closer look at some of the specific evidence that's presented in the article.
I agree. Let's delve into some of those details.
Okay.
I think that's where we'll find some of the most compelling insights.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Welcome back to our deep dive into the question of whether or not we're alone in the universe.
It's amazing how much ground this LearnXYZ article covers.
It does.
We've gone from, ancient philosophers.
Yeah.
To cutting-edge scientific research.
It's a really comprehensive overview.
It is. And even those mysterious UFO sightings.
We touched on everything.
It really highlights how this question has just captivated humanity.
For centuries.
Yeah, for centuries. And, as we dig deeper into this, I'm struck by, how much our understanding of the universe has evolved.
Absolutely. I mean, even just in the past few decades.
I know.
The amount of new information we've gathered is incredible.
It's incredible. The article mentions how, even philosophers, way back in 300 BC.
Oh, wow.
guy named Epicurus
Epicure.
was already contemplating the existence of other worlds with life.
That's amazing.
Isn't that crazy?
It is, yeah. I mean, it makes you wonder
It does.
what those early thinkers would think.
If they could see, like,
If they could see us now.
what we know now, I know.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling to think about them just like gazing up at the same stars,
Right.
pondering the same questions.
But here's the difference. We now have the tools and the technology to actually search for evidence.
Exactly. We're not just limited to philosophical speculation anymore.
We can put those theories to the test.
Right. We have things like SETI,
SETI.
the search for extraterrestrial intelligence.
Such a cool acronym.
I know. I love it. I remember reading about them using those giant radio telescopes to listen for signals from alien civilizations.
They're scanning the skies.
Yeah.
Looking for any artificial radio waves that might indicate technology being used somewhere out there.
That's so cool. It's like we're trying to find a needle in a cosmic haystack.
It is a monumental task.
It is a huge task. But even if we haven't, like, picked up any definitive signals yet,
Right.
the fact that we're actively listening,
It shows our commitment
it's
answering this question.
it really does. And then there's the whole field of astrobiology, which, as we discussed earlier, is all about studying the potential for life beyond Earth.
Exactly. It's a multidisciplinary field
Okay.
that brings together biologists, chemists, astronomers,
Wow.
planetary scientists, all sorts of experts.
To tackle this big question.
Yeah.
Which brings us back to those extremophiles we talked about.
Ah, yes, those incredible organisms.
Those little guys that can survive in the harshest environments imaginable.
We're talking about deep-sea vents spewing superheated water acidic lakes that would dissolve most life forms.
It's crazy.
And yet there they are, thriving.
It's a testament to the adaptability
It really is.
and resilience of life.
It makes you wonder what else is possible out there.
I know if life can exist in those conditions here on Earth, it really makes you think about what kind of life forms might be out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It broadens our perspective.
It does. Which brings us back to Mars and Europa,
Okay.
two places that are mentioned in the article as potential hotspots for finding extraterrestrial life.
Right, and there's a good reason why those two are often highlighted.
Why is that?
Well, we've already talked about the evidence of past liquid water on Mars.
Right, which is a key ingredient for life as we know it.
Exactly. And then there's Europa with that vast ocean hidden beneath its icy surface.
It's so crazy to think that there's be a whole ocean on another world
I know, teeming with life
that we haven't even discovered yet.
that we can only imagine.
It's a tantalizing thought.
It is.
And, you know, speaking of Mars,
Yeah.
the article even mentions this Martian meteorite,
Oh, yes.
ALH 4001, I think it's called.
I believe that's the one.
It was found in Antarctica.
Right.
And it has structures that some scientists believe could be fossilized microbial life
From Mars.
from Mars.
Isn't that insane?
That discovery really shook things up back in the 90s.
I bet.
I mean, it was a major news story.
Yeah.
And while it's still debated, it really fueled the idea that evidence of past Martian life might be right here on Earth,
Oh, wow.
just waiting to be discovered.
It's like a piece of another world literally landed on our doorstep.
It really underscores the interconnectedness of everything.
It does. Speaking of interconnectedness,
Okay?
the article points out that the Kepler Space Telescope has identified thousands of exoplanets.
Thousands.
Thousands.
That's incredible.
Planets orbiting other stars.
And some of them are even located in what's called the habitable zone,
The habitable zone.
where conditions might be just right.
Goldilocks zone. Exactly. Not too hot, not too cold. Liquid water could exist.
Liquid water, which is the key ingredient.
Exactly.
So that's just the tip of the iceberg, though. But
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you consider the sheer number of stars and galaxies out there,
it's mind-boggling.
the odds of us being alone seem incredibly slim.
Yeah. It really puts things into perspective.
It does.
Billions upon billions of stars.
It's almost impossible to fathom.
It is almost impossible to fathom that Earth is the only place
The only one.
where life has taken hold,
Right.
and yet we still haven't made contact.
And that brings us back to the Fermi paradox,
Right.
that enduring mystery. If there are so many potential homes for life out there, where is everybody?
Where is everybody? It's a question that has puzzled scientists and philosophers for decades.
And there's no easy answer.
So what are some of the theories?
Well, the article mentions a few.
Okay.
One is the zoo hypothesis.
The zoo hypothesis. Okay. I like that. What is that one?
The zoo hypothesis suggests that maybe advanced civilizations are aware of us, but they're choosing to observe us from a distance.
Like we might study animals in a zoo.
Exactly.
Oh, so maybe they're just waiting for us to reach a certain level of like technological or social maturity.
Before making contact.
Before they're like, hey, what's up?
Exactly.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Okay, what's another theory?
Another theory is the Great Filter Theory,
Okay.
which suggests that there might be some kind of major obstacle
Okay.
that prevents most civilizations from reaching a certain level of development.
Like a hurdle that they have to overcome.
Exactly.
Interesting. So is that hurdle like something that could potentially wipe them out?
It could be a catastrophic event,
Okay.
a technological singularity gone wrong,
So,
some kind of self-destruction,
or like a natural disaster on a massive scale.
possibly.
Okay. That's kind of a sobering thought.
It is a bit sobering.
But it does raise those important questions about our own future
It does.
as a species, right?
Yeah. If there is a great filter, what is it?
Have we already passed it?
Or is it something we're heading towards?
Right. It makes you wonder if, like, the search for extraterrestrial life is also a search for understanding our own destiny.
That's a profound way to think about it.
It is. If other civilizations have failed to overcome certain challenges,
Right.
maybe we can learn from their mistakes.
It highlights the importance of making wise choices
Yeah.
as we continue to advance.
As we continue to explore the universe.
Exactly.
And, the article touches on another fascinating aspect.
Okay.
The potential psychological impact of discovering extraterrestrial life.
Right. How would we react?
As a society, how would it change our worldview, our beliefs, our understanding of ourselves?
It's a big question.
It's a huge question. They cite studies suggesting that people are actually more open to the idea than you might think.
More open than we might assume.
It seems like humanity on some level is prepared
Prepared.
to embrace the unknown,
That's encouraging.
isn't it?
It is.
It suggests that we're not just intellectually curious about the possibility,
Right.
but we're also emotionally ready
To some extent.
for what such a discovery might mean.
For our understanding of ourselves.
For our understanding of ourselves.
And our place in the universe.
Our place in the universe.
Yeah.
Exactly. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
The article also reminds us that there are very real challenges
There are.
that we face in searching for extraterrestrial life.
Absolutely.
We're dealing with vast distances.
Unfathomable distances.
The possibility of life forms that are very different from our own.
Right.
The difficulty of interpreting the evidence that we do find.
It's a puzzle.
It is a puzzle. It's a detective story on a cosmic scale.
It is.
And the clues are often subtle
Very subtle.
and open to interpretation.
Right.
But that's what makes it so fascinating, isn't it?
It's the ultimate challenge.
It really is.
Yeah.
This search pushes the boundaries of our knowledge and technology.
It forces us to innovate.
It forces us to think outside the box.
To question our assumptions.
Exactly. Okay, so I think that's a good place to pause for now. We've covered a lot of ground,
We have.
but there's still more to explore.
There's always more to learn.
In the next part, we'll delve into some of these specific technologies and research methods.
Ooh. The nuts and bolts.
The nuts and bolts that are being used in this extraordinary quest.
I can't wait.
We'll take a closer look at the James Webb Space Telescope,
Yes.
the search for technosignatures, and the ongoing debate about like the best strategies
Right.
for finding evidence of alien life.
It's going to be another exciting leg of our deep dive.
It is, so stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive.
We are in the final stretch of our exploration into the question, are we alone? And
Yeah,
this LearnXYZ article has given us so much to think about.
it really has. It's like we've been on this incredible journey, just
Yeah.
piecing together all these different clues from all these different sources.
And I think what's really striking is just how far we've come in our search for extraterrestrial life.
Yeah, like we've gone from philosophical pondering
Right.
to actually like sending spacecraft to the other planets.
Yeah.
And even like listening for signals from distant civilizations.
It's incredible.
It's a testament to human curiosity and our drive to just explore the unknown.
Absolutely.
Okay, so in the last part, we talked about some of the challenges of searching for extraterrestrial life.
Right.
The vast distances.
Yeah.
The possibility of life being very different from what we know.
Right.
And the difficulty of interpreting the evidence that we do find.
That's a tough job.
It is a tough job. But despite these challenges,
Yes.
we also have some incredible tools and technology
We do. We've got some amazing things at our disposal.
at our disposal. And one that like has everyone really excited
Okay.
is the James Webb Space Telescope.
JWST.
or JWST.
Gold standard, the gold standard.
Rightfully so. I mean, it is the most powerful space telescope ever built,
It's incredible.
capable of seeing things in the universe that were previously hidden from us.
Yeah, I remember when it launched, it was like a huge deal.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was talking about it.
Front page news and the images that it was going to capture, and it has not disappointed.
Not at all.
But beyond the stunning visuals, the JWST is a game changer
It is.
for the search for extraterrestrial life.
Absolutely.
So how exactly does it help us find aliens?
Well, one of its key capabilities is analyzing the atmospheres of exoplanets.
Oh, so those are planets orbiting other stars.
Exactly.
Okay.
And by studying the light that passes through an exoplanet's atmosphere,
Okay.
the JWST can detect the presence of certain molecules.
And those molecules can tell us if there's a chance of life on that planet.
That's the hope. Certain molecules like oxygen, methane, water vapor are considered potential biosignatures.
Okay.
They could indicate the presence of biological processes.
So it's like the JWST is sniffing out the chemical makeup of these distant worlds
It is.
and looking for clues that life might be present.
Like a cosmic fingerprint analysis.
Like the cosmic fingerprint analysis. I love that. It's amazing to think that we can analyze the atmosphere of a planet that's light years away.
I know, it's mind-boggling.
It really is. And that's just one of the ways that the JWST is advancing our search for life beyond Earth.
Right.
The article also mentions something called technosignatures.
Ah.
What are those?
Technosignatures are essentially signs of technology
Okay.
that might be produced by an advanced alien civilization.
So we're talking about things like radio signal,
Radio signal.
maybe even giant structures built around stars,
Yeah, like Dyson spheres.
like those Dyson spheres we talked about earlier. It's
Exactly.
like if a civilization reaches a certain level of technological advancement,
Right.
they might start producing signals or structures that we could detect from Earth.
That's the idea.
It would be like finding a giant neon sign that says, hey, we're here.
Well, maybe not that obvious.
Okay, maybe not that obvious.
But you get the idea. Even detecting something like unusual patterns of radio waves
To be a sign.
could be a sign of alien technology.
It's like we're searching for evidence that someone out there is doing something technologically sophisticated that we might recognize.
Exactly. We're looking for something that stands out from the natural background noise of the universe.
Okay. And while we haven't found any definitive technosignatures yet, the search is ongoing.
The search continues.
So we've got the James Webb Space Telescope scanning the skies. We're listening for radio signals. And, of course, we're still exploring our own solar system.
Right.
Right. And that includes studying those extremophiles we talked about earlier.
Those amazing creatures.
Those little guys who can survive in the most extreme environments here on Earth.
Right. And studying them is crucial
Why is that?
because it helps us understand the limits of life as we know it.
Okay.
If life can exist in those harsh conditions here, it expands the possibilities for where we might find it elsewhere.
It's like having a living laboratory
Exactly.
right here on Earth showing us what's possible.
It constantly challenges our assumptions about what life needs to survive.
Okay, so we've got all these different approaches, powerful telescopes, the search for technosignatures, the study of extremophiles. It seems like we're really throwing everything we've got at this question.
We're not giving up.
And that's what's so exciting about it. It's a testament to human ingenuity and our desire to understand our place in the universe.
Absolutely.
It's inspiring to see all this effort and collaboration going into this search. But I have to ask, if we did find definitive proof of alien life, how do you think it would change humanity?
That's the big question, isn't it? It's hard to say for sure,
Yeah.
but I think it would be a profound moment for our species.
Yeah.
It would force us to confront our preconceived notions, to expand our perspectives, and to see ourselves as part of something much larger.
It would be a humbling experience,
It would.
but also an incredibly exciting one.
Imagine the possibilities for collaboration, for learning from another intelligent species.
Yeah, for expanding our knowledge of the universe.
It's a future filled with potential.
And I, for one, am really eager to see what it holds. Well said.
Yeah.
So for all of you listening out there,
Yes.
if you're as fascinated by this topic as we are,
As we are.
be sure to check out LearnXYZ-In
LearnXYZ-In.
for more deep dives into the wonders of the universe.
They've got some great stuff over there.
They do.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on the Deep Dive.
And until next time, keep looking up at the stars and keep asking those big questions.
We'll see you next time.